Flyweight fight week.
Woo, flyweight. That shit hits different.
Say, man. So, obviously you've been talking about making this move for a long time, right? So what finally was the trigger to say, yep, this is the time to make this move?
We've been going back and forth on it. It's been in my mind, and I'm a doer. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. We were slated to fight Figueiredo over a year ago. Obviously, caught COVID pretty bad. But I truly believe everything's on timing. It allowed me the time to, do this correctly. Find Dr. Mateo, Kappa Nutrition. So this has been, not an overnight 8-week camp thing, cutting down. I reached out to him. We've been working for close to 7 months now. Getting the weight down, and it's one of the best things that I've done. I actually texted Dana a couple weeks ago. I was like, I wish I would have done this a while ago, But I love what this has made me do. The focus, the extra. Like I always come in shape, ready to fight. Just the mental clarity that it has given me day in and day out. It's been very inspiring. I think that's the word this week. I'm inspired. I'm inspired for what's about to take place on Saturday night, and a new division. End of the year, great card. Against a good opponent. A worthy adversary. And I've done everything I needed to do to collect this win.
That's awesome. What do you think? Like the advantages? I mean, you talk a lot about like the focus. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's the mental, dedication. But what do you think will be different about you or better about you at flyweight?
I feel like this is probably my more natural weight. I feel like a lot of the bantamweights are, much larger, and I feel like, not in, skill set, speed, power. I still have that at the division. Obviously, that's given, of my career. But I would say it's the recharge. The recharge from cutting down to 35 and the reload. If a fighter's only gaining 10 pounds and your opponent's gaining 20 pounds, well, they're taking 10 more pounds inside that octagon, and that, can make a huge difference, especially in a 5-round fight, things like that. So I feel like this has been a necessary cut or a necessary transition into the flyweight division for quite some time. It's needed to be done. With the Rob Font fight, I took the Rob Font fight after, giving the flyweight title shot. Obviously COVID and stuff, like I said, they give me that, like, hey, fight Font. You can either, you wait, because it was the draw with Moreno and Figueiredo. So I was going to wait, over a year to fight. So I was hungry to fight, healthy, had that whole long battle with COVID coming back, ups and downs of, the pneumonia, the torn, vein that turned into blood clots, the vertigo. So it was, especially after coming out of a huge win over a Sunsao and what I battled to get into that fight. I was in the hospital for over a week with a kidney infection. It came back 10 days before. I had to go back to the hospital and do an antibiotic drip every day for 10 days leading up to the fight. Was on antibiotics through the fight. So just to get to that fight and have that performance, get a big knockout, just was motivated and inspired to get back in there. And I went back in the gym Monday and worked hard. And then obviously there's things out of your control. I couldn't control getting COVID, contacting COVID, and what it did to my body. I literally thought that I had COVID. Well, I didn't know I had COVID, but I was in fight camp training. I'm like, well, this is how I'm going to feel, And as athletes in this profession, we're taught to, or bred through, to grind through this stuff. Your adversaries don't care whether you're sick, you're beat up, you're not feeling well. Like they don't give a shit. So I'm like, oh, this is it. So I trained through that. I think I made it worse, not knowing I had COVID, and then it just trickle effect. But also I was on antibiotics for so long. In the beginning of the year, got out of the hospital, started training again. Basically doing a whole fight camp again for a Sunsao to be able to fight in June. The infection came back. I worked with infectious disease doctors in both New Jersey and Sacramento, a specialist in, kidney specialist in Cleveland. So yeah, it's been a crazy, wild roller coaster, ups and downs, but I never lost my faith in myself and the confidence in myself that I would be back to, being here, coming to fight week, and I hate using this word motivated, so I'll use inspired. I'm inspired for what's about to take place Saturday night, and that's a flyweight takeover.
I like it. All that you've been through. What do you think about the matchup itself? I mean, you got a whole new roster of guys, right? I mean, were you familiar with Kai at all, or what do you think of him as an opponent?
I think he's a worthy adversary. I definitely do. I think anybody that steps inside the octagon, you have to respect. I just understand what is going to happen on Saturday night, and that's why I'm excited. I came to fight week, no injuries, amazing camp, and I also think that it's to do with the nutrition, the foods that I was eating, working with Dr. Mateo, the training that I put my body through, and the recovery in between sessions, able to push. I just feel like I've never felt like this. There's been glimpses of these feelings. I know every fight camp and every fight week's different, and every fight's different. But if you're the pool from the past, I feel like this Saturday night will be a flow state, no love.
That's awesome. Love to see that. Last thing I'll ask, are you looking at this basically as a #1 contender fight? And I'm curious if you do, how much time do you need? Like, you talked about all the process that it takes to get here. Like, can you be ready for fights in quick order, or do you need like lengthy training camps to get down?
You know what? I'm a professional, and I stay ready. That's the best thing. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Even at a new division, it's made me do things that I've not had to do in the past. The extra road work. My son comes up, and he's such a loving, caring, sharing individual. Has snacks, and we love these barbecue chips, right? These Sun Pringles. I'm just leaving, and he goes, "Oh, Dad, you want some?" I was like, "Oh, no." I said, "After the fight, after the big win, buddy, we'll share." And he goes, "Okay." And his mom sent me a video, or his aunt sent me a video of him not sharing the chips with her because I'm saving them for Daddy after the fight. It's the little things like that. At 35, I'll take a couple right now, give you some fruit snacks too. But little things like that. Just like I said, inspired. That's the word of the week. I'm inspired for what's about to go down on Saturday night.
Cody, can you just tell us it's Wednesday of fight week? How does this one feel compared to the ones at 35 physically?
Physically, I always feel like I come to fight. I was born to fight. That's in my DNA. That's my makeup. That's who I am. I'm a fighter. But this fight, if you're comparing it to the last fight, I came here and I'm like, yeah, I feel good. I feel ready to go. But I didn't prepare the way that I should have prepared. For a 5-round fight. And that's the word that I hate to use is motivated. I was not motivated. This fight camp, I've been inspired. I've been inspired this whole entire camp because it's to do something that's a few people have done. Yes, I've been a world champion. I'm a former world champion in a previous weight division. That's a small percent of human beings being able to have that title to their name, but even a smaller percentage of going to a different division and being a world champion as well. So I'm inspired by myself, but also a lot of people around me for what's about to take place Saturday, and that's just the start of it.
Thank you.
I saw that Figueiredo went out to fight ready camp with Henry Cejudo. I just feel like Moreno really broke him in that last fight. That's one of the things he gave up and gave him his back, and he got submitted. I think that Moreno did a great job, and I think it's going to be no different. Like you said, he's his biggest sponsor. That was a funny quote from him. And you gotta like the guy. He's a character, but I feel like Moreno will win the fight. I think that's, changing camp sometimes isn't the best thing to do, but who knows? Maybe it is. There's always that, oh, he changed camp, he's training with Henry, he's doing this, he's doing that. We don't know. There's always that, what ifs, and there's doubters, and there's things. So I'm excited for, whoever wins that fight. I feel confident in whoever it is for my time to, get my title shot at flyweight, that it's destiny for me, and whoever is at the throne, the new king will be there.
Talking about, that fight coming up, let's say you get a first-round knockout, this Saturday. Are you down to be a backup if they ask you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's what I told Dana. Well, not told Dana, but I was speaking to some media prior to coming here. I said, hey, we might, on Monday morning, walk in an office and do some business. So if that's what they want me to do, like I said, first and foremost, I'm focused on Kai France and mauling him on Saturday night and letting the rest fall into place.
I know you talked about how good you're feeling at flyweight, but do you feel like for sure your times at 135 are done?
I'll never say for sure that it's done at the 135 because there's a lot of interesting, matchups for me to be there. Like who knows? Like I said, I'm focused on Kai, and getting this big win, and controlling what I can control is just being ready for the next opportunity. I've worked hard for this opportunity, and I'm taking full advantage of it.
Cody, down here, you touched on flow state. At the end of the month will be the 5-year anniversary of when you were in the flow state against Dominic Cruz at UFC at 207. I mean, you've had your ups and downs, and your life has changed since then. How would you assess the time since then?
Oh man, 5 years is a long time to go through, a career in the UFC. Life itself, 5 years, so much can change. There's a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of learning experiences, a lot of growth. A lot of growth in those 5 years. I was 25 years old. Dismantled one of the best bantamweights ever in a masterclass performance, and I was, sitting here, and there's the same doubters that have those questions like, oh, can you do it again in a different weight division? I've done it once before. Why can't I do it again? And I don't really spend too much energy on the doubt or the negative energy. I just focus on what I can control, and I know that I have prepared mentally, physically, emotionally. I've been through every emotion in this sport, in this life, ups and downs, where I came from, where I'm going, and what I'm set out to do. I feel like I was 25 years old. I focused on being a world champion, and I won the title. And I didn't have, what was my focus after being a world champion? It was amazing, don't get me wrong. It was great to be a world champion, but I almost felt, what's next? I didn't have that next goal, that next plan, the next vision. And at flyweight, I know I'm now 30 years old. 5 years, later, I take the learning experiences of being a world champion and really valuing it. I didn't value it, I had the belt in my closet, lost it a couple times, like now, I value it because it's not that I need this to be my identity, but I value the hard work and the ups and downs and the things that you have to go through to be the best, and that's what the blood, sweat, and tears when I look into the title and look into this, future, that's what inspires me, is the road that I took is a lot less traveled, a lot of ups and downs, I'm here to make a splash in this division, I'm here to be the world champion, I'm here to be the best, and that's what I set out to do when I was 12, 13 years old. I never wanted to just be like, oh, I want to be a UFC fighter like a lot of people are dreaming just to get in the UFC. I never said that. So I want to be a UFC world champion. And people would be like, can you even make money doing this? Like when I was 12 years old, I was 12, 13. It's crazy how the sport evolved. Very thankful for, a lot of these athletes, putting their blood, sweat, and tears into elevating the game. Dana, the UFC, the Tito brothers, WME in here now. Like it's great to see where we're at in the sport, and Saturday night is just exciting. We're here in front of a crowd, a stacked card. Like, how can you not be motivated or inspired all camp to go out there and put on performance? You go out there and fight your ass off, and you get a good victory, a good win, a good knockout. However it's going to happen, I know I'm going to win. I truly believe in it, because of the things that I've seen in himself, Kai, I'm talking about, and the things that I know inside of myself. I've been a world champion, former, and I know what it takes to get there, and now I know what it takes to stay there. And so I have the formula, and just ready to go.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right. Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.